Hello, Governor. How are you?
Good.
All right.
Thank you all of you for being here today. I'm gonna get closer. Sorry. Okay. Good morning, and thank you all for being here this morning. I just have to say that I feel so grateful to the governor and for giving me this opportunity. And I want to thank also the Senate for confirming my nomination. And I want to tell the people of Rhode Island that I'm ready to work hard for all of you.
What's your first thing that you'll do once you're in office?
Well, my first thing that I have done right now is I have a chief of staff who's Ernie Almonte, who's here with us. So that has been the first order of business for today. Ernie and I need to catch up on all the work that the Lieutenant Governor team was doing before, and then we need to catch up on everything that they were doing and start putting our own plan of what we're gonna do.
And why did you hire Ernie?
Because of his knowledge of finances. I think that the experience that he has already working with different cities and towns on the role of the Auditor General, I think that is very important to have that knowledge. And actually, if you look at his resume, like, why not? I feel very fortunate that he agreed to this role. I'm fortunate that he did.
Every lieutenant governor's got his or her own area of focus, her own priorities, emphasis. What's going to be yours?
For me, it's housing. And I have spoken with the governor, and he's supportive of me working on making sure that the housing is a priority statewide. We have to build different type of housing, affordable housing, the high end, but also there is the housing that we need for the working families. For one of the challenges that we had in Providence is that you can find housing for the high end, but if we want our teachers, our police officers to live in the city, we didn't have housing available for them.
So what's the number one thing we can do to make housing more affordable in Rhode Island?
So we have to understand that there is a need, that every community needs to take part of making this a reality. Sometimes we get some pushback for some communities about housing, and we have to make sure that they understand that the housing that we want to create is to serve their own community.
So you mean affordable housing? There's pushback on affordable housing?
Affordable, but there's different levels of affordable housing. So just wanting to make sure that we have housing available for the workforce. I want to make sure that we have workforce housing available.
Governor, the lieutenant governor's position typically kind of flies under the radar. A lot of people, I know you've answered this question before, still question what the job does. How do you, apart from the issues you want to work on, how do you envision yourself kind of stepping out of that and making it a more visible role, especially as you've said you're going to run again next year?
Yeah. So Governor McKee did a great job prioritizing the small businesses as part of his initiative for the office. So this office can do a lot. If you look at what Lieutenant Governor Elizabeth Roberts did also, she prioritized health care. So if you look, every Lieutenant Governor has taken on an issue and made it part of the work that they do. And already, if you notice how I'm working with the governor, it's a whole different way that he's including me in many conversations, including me in many of the things that he's doing. So we're planning on working as a team, and I think we're going to accomplish great things for the state of Rhode Island.
When you were nominated, we were out here on the steps a couple of weeks ago. One of the topics was making sure communities of color were getting vaccinated. Have you seen any improvement there? What is the status of that? What's been your input? And I know there was the issue last week where those specific appointments got canceled by mistake. Mm-hmm. What's your understanding of what happened there? What's the update?
So we had actually a successful vaccination event at the Dunkin' Donuts Center over the weekend. The governor supported the initiative that came from the Equity Council, which I have been part of the Equity Council all along in my role as member of the City Council. And we were able to vaccinate a lot of individuals from the communities, especially within the minority community, came to the vaccination clinic over the weekend. And we're planning on doing more of this.
Have you heard anything on that mistake?
And the mistake, no, so the Director of Health, Dr. Alexander Scott, already addressed that, and we're doing everything we can to make sure everyone that got the cancellation notice, we're already notified. They got phone calls and they get rescheduled.
Gobernadora, quería preguntarle cómo se siente, cómo hoy fue ya esa juramentación para un paso más grande para nuestra comunidad de color y latina. ¿Cómo se siente el día de hoy?
Me siento muy feliz de que llegamos a este momento del día de hoy y muy agradecida al gobernador y al Senado de Rhode Island al gobernador por nominarme y al Senado por haberme aprobado para esta posición. Yo les estoy comprometida con los residentes de Rhode Island y les aseguro que voy a trabajar muy duro cada día para representarlos bien, y a mi comunidad latina minoritaria quiero decirles que yo voy a trabajar muy duro para representarlos bien.
Y para esa comunidad que de pronto tiene un pensamiento en que, bueno, el vicegobernador, vicegobernadora, no hace mucho, explícales de pronto algunos de esos planes que tienes para la comunidad y para el Estado.
So, la posición de vicegobernador, cada vicegobernador ha tomado un asunto que es importante para él y lo hace la prioridad. El gobernador McKee, cuando era vicegobernador, tomó los pequeños negocios y esa fue su prioridad. Yo voy a estar haciendo prioridades en las viviendas, que hayan viviendas asequibles a diferentes niveles de income de las personas. Esa va a ser una de las áreas que yo voy a trabajar, pero también quiero trabajar en la equidad para asegurarnos de que todos estemos representados. Esta oficina puede hacer mucho, y especialmente si tiene el apoyo del gobernador, como lo tengo yo ahora. El gobernador me está dando su apoyo 100%. Yo creo que vamos a lograr muchísimas cosas.
Steve
Governor, did you
Benford,
get into the Lieutenant Governor's office? Did you get a look at the office there, sit in the chair?
Yes, I just went in this morning. We're still organizing the office. The governor gave me some great feedback about when he was there and the challenges about how the office was set up. And himself, he came in and gave us feedback about how the office is going to be working.
What did he tell you? What did he say?
So it's just maybe the office had the office of the lieutenant governor was split in two areas, right? And you have to go across the hall to meet with your rest of the staff. So right now we're all going to be in the same area. I think that's a big improvement for all of us.
can't hear you.
So, I was just telling to the Telemundo station, so I feel honored to have this opportunity. But at the same time, I know the responsibility that I have, because when you are the first, sometimes if you make a mistake, it's going to reflect on the rest of your community, which is unfair, right? So I promise my community that I'm going to work really hard to make them proud, and I'm going to do the best I can. I'm always going to do my best.
And do you think the fact that you are the first is a sign that perhaps the state leadership needs more diversity?
I think the state leadership has been getting more and more diverse. I have seen this at the city level, at the different municipalities. We can see more diversity. You look at the State House and the House of Representatives. I think we're getting there, but there's always room for improvement.
What do you make of the fact, Lieutenant Governor, that some of the wealthier towns like Barrington, Jamestown have higher rates of vaccination than some of our urban core communities, even though they've had expanded eligibility? What does that say about the rollout and the efforts to reach some of the minority communities?
I think that we have been working on that for quite some time. I know there has been some conversations saying that there is hesitation. I think in that part of the things that we have been talking about during the equity meetings is that we need to have access. We have to make sure that we have more access, and that's why the governor started making sure that the municipalities were participating of the vaccination. We need to increase access in those communities to make sure that individuals that don't have the transportation to go far away, that don't have the technology knowledge, are able to register. So those are the things that we're addressing right now.
Last one, because we gotta go. Last one with Steve.
Thank you. You said that you and the governor are going to be working as a team,
Yes.
but there are some policy differences between you and the governor. For instance, as president of this council, you led the effort to oppose the plan to restructure Kennedy Plaza and the multi-hub system, and the governor has fully funded that in his budget. What do you see the future of that plan being?
So what I can tell you is that we have a lot of policies in which we agree on. But it would be naive to think that we're going to agree all the time.
Right.
Nobody agrees all the time. I don't agree all the time, not even with my parents or my husband.
Sure.
So I think we're going to have differences. the important thing is how we handle those differences. And we're going to have a conversation in which I can give him feedback about why I disagree with him. And I'm looking forward for us having the opportunity and for the governor to listen to my input. At the end of the day, we have one governor at a time, and
Sure.
he's the governor.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Lieutenant Governor, have you
Have you been assured
resigned?
a seat at the table though for these important conversations?
Yes, the governor has been very generous with his time and allowing me to participate in conversations.
Thank you, everybody.
Have you
Thank you.
resigned your council seat, or when you were sworn in, did it automatically?
I just resigned this morning,
You
effective
did?
6 a.m., so the clerk should have the letter. So
Okay,
you guys can
thank you,
Governor.
Thank you.